right, I think, let me see. Are we on?
Here it comes. All right, we get an ad.
Good. That'll let you mute the stuff.
All right. We are live, sir.
Yeah. What's going on? Time to mute the audios. All right. We're live. What's going on, guys? Welcome to Vahagraphy Talk 26. Special guest today, Lavina Lalchandani. How are you, Lavina? And you guys, you guys know Chuck over here? Hello, Chuck. How is it going, Lavina?
It's going awesome. Had a nice day today, and now I'm meeting you both and lovely audience. So it's going awesome.
Great. We're happy to have you here for Vahagraphy Talk number 26.
Happy to be here, and thank you so much for inviting me over here.
Oh, you're welcome. I met you. I actually sold a lens to you. That's how we met. I sold you the Nikon 24 1.4G.
Yes, we met through OfferUp. And he gave me a great deal.
Yeah, I gave her a great deal, Chuck.
Yeah.
So I said, you know what? She sounds cool. I met her on OfferUp, and she, the first couple of messages, you know how OfferUp is, right, guys? Like there's a lot of like not serious people on there. So, and when you started asking me questions about Nikon, this and that, I'm like, wow, who is this person? And I was like, she sounds really interesting. And then when we met, and then I saw your work in your Instagram, and you have some videos on YouTube, and it was awesome. I love your stuff. Your landscape and portrait work is very impressive.
Thank you so much.
Yeah. How did you get your start?
Oh, so it surprises a lot of people. I did not do photography until 2015. I went through some really bizarre period in 2015. I lost my mom, and I was really sad after that. And in 2016, I moved to California, and that was like a fresh start to me. And I had this calling for photography for a very long time. And to cope up with my emotions, I needed an outlet. And out of the multiple routes I had, I chose photography as the route. And I sensed a healing power through photography. And I was in California. I was living in Newport Beach, right by the beach. And it was a wonderful opportunity to go out and shoot every day. So the more I shot, the more I felt healed. And that's why I always say that art has a healing power that you cannot even imagine. And that's how I started. My first camera was Nikon D7200.
Wait, let me ask you something. We're going to get into all that camera stuff, but so your mom passed away. You're originally from India?
Yes, I am from India. I came from a family where art was not at all appreciated. If I would tell them that I'd buy a camera, they're like, oh, you're wasting money, So it was all about books, all about being nerdy. So I belong to that kind of family. But, I always knew it in me that there is a huge creative part inside me. And I think I was just waiting to roar, and my camera was the voice.
Nice. So you moved to sunny California.
Yes, from Boston.
You went to Boston first.
Yeah. I lived in several places. I've lived in Pittsburgh. I lived in Rhode Island. I lived in Boston. And in 2015, right after my mom passed away, I got an opportunity in California. So I moved to California in 2016. Yeah. I've been here ever since.
Nice. You picked up photography at a later age to help you cope with the pain and.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
And you chose Nikon.
Yes.
Why Nikon?
Well, I didn't know any better, and I still don't know any better. It was a perfect choice, and I am still very happy with the all the equipment that I still own. I'm absolutely happy with it. I don't see myself switching to any other company. See, all companies are great. You know, all of them have put in so much research to produce this equipment. I would never say, oh, Sony is better than this or whatever. Like, you know, for me, I chose Nikon. I stuck with it. People complain about equipment so much that they forget that there is a vision, there is an art, there is creativity behind it. So I say use whatever you have. You can produce great images even from a cell phone. So it's not about the gear at all. So yeah, I made a choice of Nikon. I love it, and I'm never gonna switch.
Good for you.
Yeah.
Good. Yeah, I mean, you know, a lot of stories with photographers. It's so fascinating to know how they got their start.
Yeah.
But so you're an amazing landscape photographer. I love your stuff. They're captivating. And you also do some portrait work.
Yes.
So you like to travel, you're an adventurous person. I've seen your stuff, you know. So it's pretty cool. We'll get into some of your work. But Chuck, he loves, you know, he loves wildlife, being in the outdoors, right, Chuck?
Yeah. Yeah, we were talking about it earlier. I can't pick one thing to concentrate on. That's the reason I had asked earlier what inspires her in photography. And you said it was landscapes first.
Yes.
Well, that's good. And it shows. I mean, when you concentrate on one area like that, you just continue to get better. That's my problem. I can't concentrate on one area, so I don't get better.
You're a jack of all trades.
Yeah. But it's just, you know, I wish I could find something and settle on it like you have. I think that's fantastic. One thing it does is it definitely saves on buying all the gear that you need to shoot everything.
Yeah. I definitely agree. Yep.
Yeah. I just want to say hello to everybody that's here so far. Mozman. What's up, Mozman? Eric. Hassan. I am Hassan. What's going on? Agnetha and the gang trickling in right now. So when you, I want to get into more landscape photography and
Sure.
traveling and things like that. So when you go out to your adventures,
Mm-hmm.
do you go like, what's the scouting process like? Do you ask other photographers where to go, or you just look it up on Google? Like how do you pick a location for the weekend?
So let me give you a backstory of how it all happened.
Sure.
I was shooting at Newport Beach. I was doing the long exposure beach shots. That's how I started. And there was a group of photographers next to me, and they were talking amongst themselves, and they were talking about Joshua Tree. I overheard them. I overheard their conversation. So I went home, I looked up, what is Joshua Tree? At that time, I didn't know in 2016 because I had just moved from East Coast. So I was so mesmerized when I saw the nightscape pictures online of Joshua Tree. I instantly had this thing in me that I have to go to Joshua Tree. I had D7200. I did not have any wide angle lens. So I borrowed a lens, I think a Rokinon, or if I'm not wrong. So I borrowed a Rokinon from borrowedlenses.com. And I went with the wide angle lens, my tripod, and D7200 at that point in time. I reached Joshua Tree. I had looked up how people scout Milky Way. And I went out there, I figured out that this is going to be the lineup. I used apps, PhotoPills is what I used. And so I saw that this is how you can scope your framing. And I was like, okay, perfect. I'm going to be here all night and I'm going to shoot. Mind it, I'm a person who couldn't even sleep in dark. I always needed a light on, but in that moment, it felt so surreal. It just felt that I belonged over there. I was not scared at all. I even saw a coyote. But yeah, but they are harmless, like unless you kind of mess up with them. But I saw a coyote and I was not scared at all out there. And I saw the Milky Way rising behind a Joshua tree. I captured that shot. And yeah, it was D7200. And when I got back, I was so inspired by just that one shot. And I wanted to take a print of it. Took a print of it. I took a print of it in multiple sizes. And I realized, okay, it's time to buy a better camera. I was with D72 only for probably 6 months, and I wanted a camera with a higher pixels. And I knew that this is the route. Intuitively, I knew that I'm going to pursue this even more than what I'm doing currently.
Wait a minute. So you the first time out, you borrowed the Rockinon, and then you had a what body?
D7200.
Okay, it was your camera.
Yeah, it was my camera. The camera was mine. The lens was borrowed.
Okay, so
yeah.
So your first time out, have you been inspired before that to pick up photography? Did you study? No, not at all. You just went.
No.
So you were a tourist. You were just like,
yeah,
let me take pictures. Oh, that's cool.
I was tourist with just a little better than a
tourist. Let me tell you something. You have an eye.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Not a lot of people out of the blue can do that type of photography.
Right.
You have a great eye, Lavina. I'll tell you right now. Hey, what's up, guys? Greg, Paul Connor's in the house. Phil, thank you, Agnetha. Thanks a lot. So then after that trip, you looked at your photos and you said, "What? You need to get a new camera." And
yeah, so I decided I needed a better camera because I printed that picture in multiple sizes, and I was seeing the difference as the frame size increased. And I was like, if I want to, and a couple of my friends, they gave me feedback, oh, this is a sell-worthy shot. And I got a little more inspired hearing those words. And I thought, okay, I need a better camera. I need a nice wide angle lens, and all the other lenses I need to upgrade. I think that time, I don't even remember which lens I had with D7200, but those were not great for the things that I wanted to do. So I upgraded my entire gear set that I owned. And then I took a workshop after that trip from a guy in Joshua Tree. His name is Casey. So I took a workshop, and I just wanted to connect with another person and understand in person what their process was and if there's anything I could learn. So that was a one-night workshop where he and I went and we did some scouting, and I learned a lot in those few hours from him. And since then, I feel like the few hours of workshop with him opened plenty of doors for me to think in different ways.
That's cool.
Yeah.
So when you go out for the weekend, and Chuck, by the way, cut me off anytime you want.
No, I'm listening.
When you go out for the weekends, you usually do it all by yourself, no friends, nothing.
90% of the time, it's just myself. 10%, if any other photographer wants to join, they're more than welcome, but I don't take friends.
Interesting. They get in the way, right?
Yeah, it gets mixed up because, I want to shoot sunrise. I want to shoot sunset. I want to do astrophotography. They want to sleep. They want to enjoy. They want to relax. I'm not there to enjoy. My idea of enjoying and relaxing is when my camera is shooting, I'm just relaxing and watching the stars. That's how I relax.
That's awesome. You don't take friends because they just want to chill and party.
Yeah. So, but if I go out with my friends, I do not carry my camera. So there is a line, there's a boundary between both.
Yeah, it's nice that you can be happy alone doing what you enjoy, the photography, and also with other photographers. Do you find it more enjoyable if you have other photographers along with you?
I would say one or two, yes, who have that level of maybe I would say stamina or that same vision as you have. Right. A lot of time people refuse to hike a mountain, or they wouldn't want to stay up late,
Right.
I am willing to cross those barriers to get my shot. I'm willing
Okay.
to hike up there, stay all night. And if
Right.
you were going to be with me, you got to do that.
Okay. Well, nothing
Yeah.
wrong with that.
If
Yeah.
you want to be with me.
Hassan wants to know if that gaming chair helps you do your editing.
So that's an excellent question. And, I wanted a nice chair, and I thought about it that who are the people who sit longest in front of screen? And I thought they are the gamers. That's why I bought a gaming chair. I don't
That's,
play games,
yeah, that's
but that was
smart.
the thinking behind it.
Nice. Question for Lavina. How did you like doing photo editing after doing photography?
That's an excellent question. So I was doing landscape photography. I wanted to take my editing one notch up. So I saw I had amazing shots, but somewhere I was lacking in my editing skills. So I started shooting portraits, because the way I thought about it is portrait image is something you give to another human, and you're going to be really specific on how you are editing each and every detail. And I wanted to learn those aspects. I wanted to learn proper dodging and burning. How do you create a good lighting in editing an image? So that's how I started shooting portraits. And in the process of learning editing for these portraits, I finally upgraded the way I edit my landscapes.
Oh,
So
good.
so to learn the editing for landscapes, I had to go through learning how to edit portraits. And that was my inspiration to start portraits.
Lightroom, ACR, Capture One Pro. What's your editing tool of choice?
So it's Lightroom and Photoshop. That's my flow. I
Okay.
love Capture One, but I haven't settled on it yet. I am still, my workflow still uses Lightroom and Photoshop.
Nice.
Also,
Same here.
I know a lot of people at Adobe. I love Adobe, and I really respect the technology that they have provided us. I'm a fan of Adobe.
Yeah. Well, I don't use Lightroom, but I use ACR and
Mhm.
then to Photoshop myself. So
That's Lightroom's, I guess, what I use, but I want to venture out and see what else there is, because I've heard a lot of good things about Capture One. I've
Yeah,
heard a lot of good things about even the Nikon software
yeah.
that I haven't really spent time.
I think Capture One's fantastic. My only problem with it is I need to sit down and just play with it more. I'm so used to ACR, well, the Adobe products.
Mhm.
And I think Capture One is just as good. It's just taking the time to get used to using it. So at least that's my excuse for not completely switching.
Mhm. Yeah.
So so after you bought what was your next camera? The D850?
Yes. So right after D7200, I bought D850, and D7200 became my time-lapse camera. So I would always have two cameras. I still have two cameras. One is for my stills and one is for time lapses. So I would have the same composition. And once I'm done shooting with my D850, that was for my stills so that I can get higher quality prints. I could use higher megapixels for my prints. So I use D850 to shoot, and then my time lapse would still go on, and I would like move around with my D850 and get another angle. Yeah.
So how do you like that D850?
After D7200, D850 was a huge jump for me, and I loved everything about it. I actually loved the focus right after of course, if I compare it to Z6II now, the other one that I own, I feel Z6II is even better. But I still enjoy the higher megapixels that I get from D850. And that's the reason I did not buy Z7II at that point in time. Also, I was waiting for Z9. So yeah.
Yeah, I think Z9 is in your future.
Yes. Yes.
But what I would do is, if you do get a Z9,
Mhm.
I wouldn't get I don't know. What do you think, Chuck? Should she sell her D850, or should she keep the Z6II for backup?
That's always a tough question if somebody were to ask, but the Z9 gives you everything the D850 has now, I believe. So that's the reason I'm ready to sell my D850. I've held on to it, but I think maybe now it's time to go ahead and move on. The Z9 does everything that it does, and quite a few things it does better as well. And I like a pro body, or the large body. So I know a lot of people don't, but I do, because I've had a D5 and a D4. So, but anyway, yeah, I mean, everybody has to determine when they're ready to part with their beloved D850, because it's a fantastic camera.
Paul says keep the D850.
Yeah.
Paul is a wartime photographer.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, he right, Chuck?
Yeah, he was a combat cameraman.
Yeah. And Chuck has military experience too.
A little bit.
Not for photography, right? You
No.
Okay.
No.
All right.
Although I did learn the exposure triangle in the Army. They did send me to school for a week on photography, where I got to hone my skill a little bit, but it was years later before I actually pursued more photography stuff.
Yeah. So you're when you go out, like, do you go for the day or do you go for the weekend?
So I leave on Friday, and this happens twice a month, near new moon time. So I leave on Friday and I come back Sunday night. That's my schedule from March through September. And then I take a week off in August, or I take a week off in October from my work, and I travel in that time frame to wherever I want to travel to. My brother lives in Massachusetts, so every fall I go there, I work from there, and get all the fall foliage every year. So yeah, I'm pretty much on the road twice a month.
So when you go out to one of these weekend trips,
Mm-hmm.
out on like local,
Mm-hmm.
do you like sleep in the car, or what do you do? Camp or?
From March through September, I don't usually get a hotel or anything, because I don't see any point, because you're out all night. I'm wrong. From March to July. Then from August, I start getting a hotel, because what happens is you go to these national parks, and then the hotel is usually outside of the national park or your Airbnb. And then you go back, you probably get an hour of nap, and then you come back again, you scout things, and you set up your camera again. And then, by the time you get shots or time lapses, it's already 5 a.m., 6 a.m. So it just doesn't justify to get a hotel for me from March through like July. And then August, when Milky Way rises around 9 p.m., 10 p.m., then it makes sense, because I'm done shooting by 1 a.m. and I can go and get a good night's sleep. Yeah.
Do you sell your prints, Lavina? Do you sell your prints, or?
I used to, and I still do if somebody reaches out to me on Instagram. Actually, yeah, this print is mine too.
Oh, beautiful.
Yeah, so at least in my house, and also in a lot of my friends' place, my prints are there. I had a website. I removed it, and the reason is I was getting a little overwhelmed, because I do have a full-time job and I do photography as well, with whatever time I have. So it got a little overwhelming. So I thought that, okay, I can tone this down a little bit. And if somebody reaches out to me on Instagram, and if I'm going to the print shop, so I work with the print shop over here. He's my go-to person for all my prints. So I don't order online or anything. I support local business, and he is amazing. The quality is amazing. The name is Real Color Print. So yeah, he helps me with all my prints. Yeah, so I do sell it, but I don't have a website that's on right now for the sales.
Okay.
Do your go-to lens is what? I mean, for landscapes, because I don't do much landscape. I'm trying to learn right now. I would love to like ask questions. What is a good lens? Like a wider kind of lens, or something mid-range?
So 24 to 72 2.8 is my go-to lens. That's something that's always on. And then from there, I decide whether I need to go wider. I need to go to 14 to 24. I am really looking forward to actually taking Milky Way shot this time from my 51.2. That's going to be awesome to find that frame.
Oh, the
Yeah.
Z lens.
Yeah, the Z50 1.2. But yeah, my go-to lens is 24-70 2.8 and actually 14 to 24 2.8 as well. My most used lens when I got D850 was 14 to 24 2.8.
1424.
Yeah, that was my most used lens. But now, I mean, I just feel that astro work looks better in 24 than 14, unless it's really wide, like
I would agree with you. You lose detail with the 14. I know it sounds crazy, but you're not losing any detail. But when it's on that broad of a spectrum, that focal length, it just kind of all spreads out.
Yeah.
What? Okay, that's cool. Do you ever shoot with like a super telephoto, or would you?
I would love to. I have a 70 to 200, and there are some moonrise shots and moonrise time lapses on my Instagram. All of those are from 70 to 200. So basically shot at 200 and then cropped. I would love to buy another one, and I'm waiting for the 200 to 600 one, the Z one that's not launched yet. So once that's in the market, I'm definitely going to buy it.
About the 800 6.3.
No, I'm not gonna buy that one. I think 200 to 600 is the one for me.
Okay,
But
yeah.
800, yeah, that's a heavy ass lens.
No,
It's not?
I don't think so.
Well, compared to the 14 to 24, it is.
Okay, yeah.
But at least when they launched in the images, it did look big to me. But yeah.
Hey, tell you what,
Mhm.
me and Mozman on the chats,
Mhm.
he's local too. And sometimes we go out and we go shoot birds, and he has like a 100 to 400. He just got a Z9 as
Mm.
well. So,
Would love to join you guys.
yeah, all right. Mozman, you heard that? So we go out, we shoot. I'll probably bring my 400 or 600 this time. Chuck,
Mm.
if you want to catch a flight.
I'd love to. Yeah, you guys need you need to get together and do a walkabout or something.
Yeah.
All three of you.
Yeah, we will. Mozman says, I saw the moonrise video of downtown LA. Where was that? Oh, okay. He checked out your work.
Oh.
Is he talking about your work?
Yes.
Okay.
That was shot from a place near Kenneth Hahn State Park. So what happens at Kenneth Hahn State Park is the moment sunset happens, you are thrown out of the park. So you cannot shoot from there. So I found a similar angle in a neighborhood. I drove around the neighborhood, found a perfect angle from a street where you can get the same shot. So yeah, I scoped out during the day, and then right when the time was for the moonrise, I just shot from there. It was beautiful. Yeah. And actually, one of the best things to shoot in LA for Zoom is moonrise time lapses and moonset, because the moon really lines up so beautifully behind downtown LA. And a lot of times when the moon sets, it aligns with Huntington Beach Pier or some of these beach piers. Like, it's beautiful.
Oh, don't talk about Huntington Beach Pier. She said Huntington Beach Pier, Mozman. He has a story.
Oh.
But Eric Ramon says, how does she generate income from her? Well, you have a day job. So
So I do have a day job. As far as income from photography, I have never stressed on it because I've always had a full-time job. But yes, Nikon has licensed a lot of my images. You know what, me and Chuck talk about this. Like, when you're a pro, it's different when you're doing it for your love of photography.
Yes.
You know, you're not stressed to go out and make money.
Yes.
Then it changes everything.
It does. Absolutely.
You know, Chuck has this whole thing about that.
Yeah. Yeah, it does. Absolutely. Doesn't mean that I would not do that. I really want to do my own editing. Actually, I want to make up my own course that explains how to scout using the apps, and then the process to go out there, shoot it, come back and edit it and post it. Like, I want to make a tutorial that encompasses even looking for an idea to actually implementing it. That's what I want to do. in terms of landscapes. But yeah.
I think it's a great idea. A lot of people look for things like that, tutorials like that may be into. You got somebody in the chat right now, Terry Breedlove. He shoots a lot of film as well, but he prefers landscapes and things like that. He just made a couple of comments in here. So yeah, he's kind of a landscape kind of guy.
Wow.
He shoots with older film cameras as well, not just new, and develops his own black and white prints. So
I want to ask you about like you were interviewed by a Nikon individual. What was his name? Michael
Corrado.
Michael Corrado. You had a podcast with him about a year and a half ago.
Yes, I was on their Creators Hour for
Creators Hour.
Interview. Yes.
They're not doing that, are they, Chuck, anymore?
So they did that for a year when COVID happened, because they wanted to encourage the people out there, to give them ideas. So they interviewed a lot of Nikon ambassadors and a couple other people as well in that 1 year.
And what were you doing? Tagging photos? Is that how they found out about you?
No, I don't know how they found. So they reached out to me through Instagram. And the first thing that they reached out, before that, they had featured a lot of my images already. So,
oh, wow.
Yeah, they had featured some of my images on their Instagram. So that was just like, resharing, reposting.
Wait, I want to ask you something about that. Hold your thought. I'm trying to get featured one time on Nikon Instagram.
Yeah.
And I cannot do it for the life of me. I'm tagging, I'm doing like, what is that tag called? No filter.
Yeah, Nikon no filter.
Nikon no filter, and I cannot get up there. So what's the secret there?
There's no secret. I just, kept on tagging them, and they finally started picking up my work and featuring me. There was really no secret. And before pandemic, they reached out to me. They sent me a Nikon Z50.
Wow.
Yeah, so they sent me Nikon Z50 and the kit lenses, and they asked me to host a giveaway if I want to do that. And they sent one for me and one for a giveaway for my followers. So I hosted that giveaway back in like 2 years ago. And then, they have licensed some of my images from Z50. They have licensed some of the images from D850, and then Z5 and Z6II. Yeah.
When you say license, what does that mean? They can use it for their advertisement?
Yes, on their social media or the websites. So yeah.
Now, they did that in exchange of what? The camera, or just for fun or recognition?
Oh, no, they pay you for.
They pay you?
Yeah.
Man, you got to give me some courses in the Nikon, So,
Yeah.
See, hey, Chuck,
Yeah.
you see that? We didn't know about that.
Yeah.
Well, I'm not going to, because I don't know that Mike Corrado cares for me much. I pretty much badmouthed him over the Nikon USA NPS order debacle.
Yeah. You know about that, right? Where NPS members get first dibs on cameras.
Yeah.
How do you feel about it?
I feel indifferent.
Look, just to be, completely open about this, I don't have a problem with NPS doing that, and I don't want to get off on a tangent here. But it just seems they went overboard with the Z9 and kept that door open for NPS forever.
Yeah.
And it just put everybody else behind. I understand they want to take care of their pros, but I question how many NPS members are really pros. I know I got a lot of flack before for saying that, and I'm sure I'll get some more here, but anyway, that was my argument with them was, hey, allow them 2 days or 3 days maybe, and then open it up for everybody. But they decided that you could wait a month or whatever it was. And I think that was ridiculous. It was wrong. It was irresponsible. And you know what? Mike Corrado is the guy that makes the call on that. So ultimately it's his fault. So I'm sure here we go again. They've got my picture on the wall at Nikon USA and they throw darts at it. He's talking about us again. Needless to say, I'm not an NPS member. I've tried twice.
Oh.
So anyway,
so you gave away that camera. That's cool.
Yeah, I gave away a camera, and yeah, the person who won the camera unfollowed me after winning.
Oh, so basically, how does it work? Follow me and you get a camera?
I mean, I that's how I've seen other people do it. Like I never hosted a giveaway on my Instagram. Then I did a couple of giveaways for my friends. Yeah. So yeah, that was my first time. So that was the only way I did it. Like tag me, I mean, and comment and why do you want the camera? Yeah.
That's common too, to say, follow me and your name goes in the hat for something you're giving away. Yeah, that's common. Most people do something like that, or subscribe if you're on YouTube or whatever.
Yeah.
Even Jared Poland does it.
Yeah.
He says, if you buy this, what is it? Lightroom preset, you get 5 entries or 10 entries.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
So that's awesome. You know, when I met you, I was like, is she the photographer? Like, because I saw somebody we met like in front of the supermarket, Chuck.
Yeah.
And I was like, I drove by, I'm like, maybe not. I don't know. So I'm like, okay, so then I see her with her Z6.
Yeah.
And I'm like, okay, that's her. So how do you like the 24-1.4?
It is amazing. So the reason
was it mint? It was mint, right? It was mint.
It was. It is amazing. It has excellent quality, and the very recent time lapse that I posted is shot using 24-1.4.
I'm gonna show that.
And there were no trails. Like I had it for 15 seconds. It's 24. Usually you would see a star trail, but because I did not see any trail. It was perfect.
Yeah, that's the great lens. I mean, I'm like, you know what? Let it go to a good home. You know, so
I see a question from Phil. If they contact you, what should you say? How do you negotiate? I did not negotiate because the price they were paying, I was very happy with it. So I did not negotiate. And then Mosman, if you unfollow after winning, you'll owe the purchase price. Yeah, that's a good suggestion. That's how it should be.
Oh, that's funny. So this is the time lapse you're talking about, right?
Yes, this is 24-1.4.
Nice. That's my lens. Well, it used to be my lens. I hardly used it, Lavina. You know that? I hardly used it. It was sitting in my bag and, you know, just didn't use it at all. This is beautiful right here.
Yeah, this was Big Sur. This I actually shot long back. I reposted it. This was actually shot. Yeah, this was from my D850.
Nice. I want to ask you a question about, because I posted this question on my YouTube channel. I was like, okay, is it editing? Is it taken away from the image, or is it more important to shoot in camera? You know, but for this kind of shots, you have to edit, right? I mean,
yeah. So
look at this.
This is my most selling print, actually.
Wow. When you say selling, what do you mean? Like, what are you selling?
I received a lot of Instagram messages. I think this was featured by Travel and Leisure as well.
Travel and Leisure?
Yeah, so they, through them, I got a lot of likes because I took this shot last year, not this year. So I reposted it again this year. But I sold most number of prints that I've sold is for this shot in my personal collection.
Wow.
It's in my bedroom too, this one, on a metal print.
Metal print. Okay. Yeah. Where is this at again?
This is Yosemite. This Yosemite. Is called, this phenomenon is called firefall, that when the sun sets, the water looks like lava. It happened in the middle of February for a week or so.
Yeah, I was going to say it's only for a few days, isn't it? Yeah. That the sun's in that perfect alignment to, it looks like fire falling down the cliff face.
Yeah.
That's awesome. So this is it's a time lapse.
It is.
But how do you get this in what do you get? How do you get this? You get this long exposures, right?
So I take multiple shots. All this was shot on D850. I took multiple shots and then stitched them in LR time lapse. The software is called LR time lapse, and that does an excellent job. Yeah, this was shot in Norway, and I'm not kidding. D850 died a couple of times during my trip. It was that cold. Like it died.
What?
My tripod was frozen, and I had a GoPro over here. My GoPro died as well. It was that cold.
So what do you mean it died? It just stopped working?
Yeah, the battery.
Battery died. Too cold.
Oh, okay. The battery died. Okay.
My iPhone also, like it just went to 0 from 100. So when I went, it was extremely cold.
Wow, look at this one.
Yeah, so this one I shot using a fish tank. I did not have an underwater body. So I took a fish tank, I put my camera over here, and I dunked in, and I took shots of her. Yeah,
a fish tank.
Yeah,
that's cool. That's awesome. I love this right here.
Yeah, Yosemite, my favorite place.
So what's a must for landscape shooters? Number one, it's a tripod, right?
Yes, tripod. And for me, of course, intervalometer is really important as well. I mean, of course, camera has inbuilt one, but somehow I find more satisfaction in using an external intervalometer all the time. I just feel it gives me more control. And yeah, this tripod, the filters are really important.
Oh, wait, let's filters, huh? Like what? Like ND and polarizers?
Yes, polarizers, ND. One thing I hated in my D850 14, so the F mount 14-24 was I needed that Lee filter system.
Yeah.
The mouth was so big, I would need that all the time. And I just felt lazy putting that on again and again. But with the latest one, with the Z mount 14-24, that problem is gone. Now the diameter, so it's 112 millimeter that I need, and you can get that in the market easily.
But even the 14-30 will get the job done. The cheaper wide angle Z lens.
Right, but I needed 2.8.
You did?
Yeah, always.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay. Look at this.
Yeah, I got so lucky with the sunset. Mount Rainier.
Okay, Mount Rainier. Yeah.
Yeah.
Hey Chuck, do you do landscapes at all?
No, not really. I mean, I've played with it a little bit, but not on that scale. So I don't know what you call, the closer landscapes, just a close scene of something.
Wow.
No.
Look, this is you all by yourself, Chuck.
Yeah. So
look, she's holding the stick, but it's invisible.
Yeah. So apart from Nikon gear, I do have 2 Insta360s. I have a GoPro and I have a drone.
Oh, you fell.
Yeah. And then I shoot from my Insta360 a lot as well, especially like behind the scenes and all that stuff. I just feel it's really cool using that instead of your cell phone.
Oh, slot canyons, man, they're beautiful.
Oh, I was a little scared when I reached over there. I did not think it's going to be this narrow.
Yeah, actually, some of them get even narrower. You can barely slide through them.
Yeah.
Wow, this is awesome.
Yeah.
I totally see like a bride right here.
How many times have you been to Utah, Lavina?
Last year, I went to Utah 4 times.
Yeah, I thought so. There's just some fantastic landscape photography there, isn't there?
Yeah.
And this is all by yourself. This is all by yourself. You're not scared. You're not like, if I counter some weirdo or, I mean, I guess you're out in the middle of nowhere, right? So.
Yeah. I mean, I don't think so. Weirdos would go that far.
You got a point there.
What would they be doing in
the middle of nowhere?
Yeah.
Look at you though. Wow, you're quite the adventurous type, I'll tell you. Look at that. Look how perfectly like straight that sand is. Like just you can
Yeah,
wow.
that's what I wanted. Like if you want to shoot on sand dunes, and if you want clear sand dunes without any footsteps, you have to hike inside. This is Death Valley. People just usually linger around in the beginning, and that has a lot of footsteps. I mean, you have to edit a lot. I didn't want to edit a lot, so I went inside. I got, pristine sand dunes, and I used that.
Yeah, that's crazy how it just like totally takes your selfie stick out.
Yeah, yeah. It's also like, like a drone is following you. So I love that Insta360. Yeah, they reached out to me recently as well to repost.
Really?
Yeah.
Dang, you're the marketing expert over here. That's cool.
We may be looking at a future ambassador here.
Look at this. Who's this guy?
He's my friend. One of
Okay.
my Utah trips, which was year end, he joined me. And I don't think so I would have gone here if I did not have a company, because this slot canyon was really narrow.
Okay,
And
yeah.
yeah.
I gotta lose weight for this. I would not be able to fit. This guy seems like he's pretty skinny.
So you know what, right? When you start hiking this canyon, this Lot Canyon, you have two rods and you have to go through those two rods. And if you cannot walk through those two rods, that means this hike is not for you.
Oh, look how narrow it is.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it gets really narrow.
So there are a few of the slot canyons down. I don't know which of the parks they're in, but at times when you're in the rainy season, and yeah, believe it or not, it rains in Utah.
Oh yeah,
That
flash floods.
Yeah, you have to be very careful because flash floods will rage through those
Exactly.
things.
Yeah, I mean, you're absolutely right. And whenever I've gone through a slot canyon, that's what I do. I mean, flash floods can happen anytime, but I do my basic research of seeing the weather even in the area surrounding
Yeah.
where I'm.
Vic says, "Oh, she rides bikes too. Nice. Yeah, she does.
Yeah.
Right. Where is it? Right here."
Yeah, if it's adventurous, I don't know.
That's awesome, Lavina. Like I'm getting so inspired by this. Who's this guy right here?
Yeah,
Looks
this
like
is a photo. This is a guy that's photoshopped. This is a really huge arch. So I added the guy later on to give an effect to it.
oh,
So I
okay.
found this guy on pexels.com. But the rest of the thing is real. I just wanted
So
an
you so
yeah.
you cheated here.
Yeah, I added this guy later on.
Okay, cool. That's
Yeah.
great. Look at the lightning. Look at the lightning here.
So this one actually was, I was doing an experiment with Adobe. You won't believe this is a day shot, and I was using one of their applications. I forgot which one, which has these overlays. So this is not real. This is Adobe's testing that I was doing. I was just, playing around with one of their apps, which I was
Yeah.
contacting them for. So yeah, this was
That's
for that.
cool. What's up, Phil? He says beautiful images.
Thank you.
By the way, a lot of our regulars, they're from all over the world.
Oh, that's amazing.
Fel, where were you from? You were from Europe, right? Or where was Fel from? He went. Chuck gone. Fel, yeah, he's from overseas, I think. Yeah, this is great. I want to talk to you guys. Whenever I see a moon shot,
Mhm.
it reminds me of that big controversy with that guy, Feek or Eek, or you ever heard of that guy that has like 4 or 5 like stores, and he sells landscape photography for a lot of money, and
No.
he's reported to have sold a picture for like $10 million, like world record.
Oh,
Ink or Fink or something like that.
Peter Lick. Are you talking about Peter Lick?
Yeah, him, right?
Yeah, Peter.
Lick. Yeah,
Yeah.
Lik.
Yeah.
Yeah. There was some controversy with him. Oh, you're from New York? No way. Didn't know that. But there was some controversy with him, and if his images are even real. The moonshot that
Mhm.
that famous moonshot that he has.
Mhm.
They're like, there's no way he can get like how does he get clouds behind the moon or the
Yeah.
backlit of the moon? And there was a
Mhm.
big controversy. This is cool. Like this is really oh wow.
Yeah, this is time lapse. This was shot using Z6II.
Yeah. Tom T says Peter Lick.
Yeah.
So how do you know where this is called Northern Lights?
No, this is Milky Way.
Milky Way. Oh my God. What's wrong
Yeah.
with me? That's how much I know landscape, like places, man. Milky Way. What is the Northern Lights?
Northern Lights is the one that it's even down below if you scroll a little bit. Yeah. Yeah, right there.
Look at this. Wait, is that a cannon?
No,
Are you sure? I see a red stripe. No, I'm kidding.
no, it's not Canon. That's from my tripod. I won't cheat. I'm not a traitor.
Wait, which one was Northern Lights?
Yeah, if you scroll a little up and then to the right.
The green lights in the sky.
Yeah,
Oh, okay.
yeah, this is the Northern Lights one.
That's cool. Man, you do amazing work, Lavina. I like it.
Arches.
What was that?
Arches from Arches National Park, I guess.
Yeah, yeah.
This is cool. So what's your next like what's one place you would love to go right now?
Yellowstone National Park. I haven't been there and I've been dying to go. So Yellowstone and Grand Teton is the next on my list, and hopefully I'll be going there in August.
So is this like is this a car?
Yes.
Time lapse.
One of my friends, he drove this. I think he drove it 6-7 times to finally get the correct shot. So yeah.
It's cool.
So I left the camera over there. So we did the night shot, and then we left the camera over there to do a blue hour shot during the sunrise, and then we combined both, blended the exposures of both.
Fel says, no wonder she gets contacted. Beautiful images. I gotta step up my game. Yeah, we do.
Oh, so this is Death Valley. These are the sailing stones. If you have heard that it takes years for them to roll and create this trail. So it's that. Yeah.
That's awesome. Hey, wildlife.
Oh, but I was just making video because I did not take my telephoto lens. So I just made a video.
Yeah. Well, the D850 could have just shot it with the 70mm and just cropped
Yeah,
it.
but
Oh.
I did not take it with me.
Damn, that's a big ass bear.
Yeah, it was a big bear. Yeah.
And you were by yourself here?
No, my friend, and I've tagged him in this post. He was with me.
Oh,
Yeah.
that's cool.
Yeah.
Look at this one. Oh, is this the one Mozman was talking about?
Yes. I mean, there's one on the top as well. Yeah, moonrise is just so beautiful in LA. I feel people don't realize that. Everybody is after sunset, but moonrise is really a beautiful sight to watch over here.
Let me guess. This is West Coast. East Coast.
That's correct.
Yeah.
And this is a drone shot.
Oh, you do drone too.
Yeah.
Damn. Man, I gotta get out and shoot. Like seriously, I gotta get out and shoot.
This is the wave. And then I left the camera at the same spot, did the trails, did the shot with him, did a shot without him, and I exposure blended most of them. You should open that one. If you scroll a little bit up, where there's a comet, the time lapse.
Yeah, I was going to question you about that.
Wait, I like this. I like this right here.
Yeah.
Wait, which one?
The next one, right? The next.
The blue background, no, down.
The blue one.
This?
Yeah.
That one.
Yeah. So this was when Comet Neowise was visible from California and other places as well. I went to Alabama Hills. This is an extremely zoom shot. I think I used a 400 for this, which was not mine. I had borrowed it. And then I think there is a behind the scene as well in my next post or the post after that, where I'm showing like how far I'm standing from the spot. So figure out where it is. And then this over here, my friend and me were together. So yeah, if you do next right here on the post. No, within the post, there's a next button. Yes. Yeah. So this is how far I was.
Yeah.
And that's where the super telephotos come in to compress that.
Right. Exactly.
Definitely, you need to get one of those 800s. There you go. He has a Canon.
Yeah, he has a Canon, and we discussed that how we are going to shoot, because I was the model. Yeah,
that's cool. Wow, this is cool too.
So you have a cityscape there. How many cityscapes do you do, or how often?
not a lot. Like, imagine like being in LA, I hardly go out to shoot in LA, but I'm always excited to go out of LA to shoot.
Yeah.
This was during pandemic. It was an epic moment to find this.
Wow, this is the 110, Chuck. Yeah. This is the busiest road in LA.
It was literally 1 second where it was empty, and that was because when pandemic had started, and there was not enough traffic. It was literally one flick of second I got that. And
it's like
I had a friend with me too. He also got the same shot. We literally were shooting, then we get it empty, and we got it empty.
That's cool. That's cool how you have the love of just getting out and shooting for yourself. I have to start doing that. You know what I mean? Like, that's why when I shoot professionally, Chuck is right. It kind of hampers my creativity. And it just makes me not want to go out and just shoot images for myself,
Yeah.
And this is, I like the composition here.
Oh yeah.
Grand
and
Canyon?
Money Valley, I looked at this thing and I was like, okay, I need a shot from here.
Is that one of the extremely old trees out there?
Yes. Yeah.
Mm.
Monument Valley is beautiful. I mean, yeah, I think
it is.
I went there 2 times last year.
Lavina, you will hate me, but I was contracting doing work, and I was out in Salt Lake City for about 6 months out of the year for 7 years. And never did I may have had a couple of times I could have gone, but I never went down into the parks while I was out there.
Wow.
It's crazy, I know.
Yeah, that's my number one thing. Whenever I go to Utah, I am at the parks.
And I was only 3.5 hours from, a couple of the parks.
Yeah. Now you're looking at the work when I started with all this, I feel like I was a baby photographer back.
Is it an NTF? NFT, sorry.
NFT. Yeah, I was living.
That's great. I mean, this is awesome.
I love that photo peeking through the blinds. That looked nice.
So we were talking earlier, Chuck, about Peter Lick.
Yeah.
Peter Lick. And how there was some controversy with
a lot of controversy over his photos.
As a landscape shooter, do you kind of follow how other photographers are in the industry making money? Do you kind of follow that, or it's kind of like, because I know in wedding photography, in portraits, we follow like how to make some money. We see what other people are doing. Same thing maybe with wildlife, and they want to market their photos. I think wildlife is the hardest thing that you can make a living on, right?
Yeah.
Chuck. So, and landscape too. Landscape is not easy. But do you follow that? Like, who's doing what?
Yeah, absolutely. And there is something to learn from every photographer. Like, there is this particular group of photographers who are really into creating their own tutorials. They have a good revenue from their tutorials. There's this other group of photographers that I am acquainted with who are really into selling prints, and their prints are expensive. So I hate it when people sell their prints for low price. I feel that you are downgrading your value. There is a lot of money involved in a picture, your fuel cost, your figuring out cost. You watch so many tutorials to learn how to edit the best way. Going there, you don't get a shot in one night, you waited there, you get the shot at second night, and then you come back. There's so much of money involved in a print. It's not just the cost of printing, there's a lot of hidden cost. And so I follow this particular group of photographers who charge good amount for their prints, right? And they won't settle. If somebody would say, oh, my budget is X dollars and it just doesn't fit their limit, they don't sell the pictures. They would rather lose the client than downgrade the level of their art. So that's the second stream of revenue that I've seen, and people are doing good with it. And the third one is licensing. People license their images a lot. I don't know how well they do, but I know that the workshops one, the tutorials one, and the print shop one, all of them do pretty well for themselves.
Licensing. And how about, do you get involved with what is it called when stock photography?
I don't.
Okay, they pay pennies.
Yeah, I don't do that. Yeah, I'm not gonna do that.
Yeah, yeah, that's so. Anyway, the controversy was where, and even Paul Connor said, did Peter Lick ultimately discredited? Did he get discredited? Chuck, do you hear about that $10 million moonshot he sold?
Yeah.
Oh no, it wasn't a moonshot. It was the ghost thing.
No,
Phantom.
I think you're talking about a shot in Antelope Canyon.
Yes, where he says it's one shot, it's one frame, it's not a composite, and that's been the big argument about his photos. Is it possible? So here's the thing: if it isn't that way, I don't know why he didn't just come out and say, "Look, yeah, I composited this photo."
Oh
because
no,
the photos are beautiful. I think we'd all agree.
I mean, I don't think so. Anyone should be ashamed of compositing. Like,
I don't either.
It is an expression of art, and
yes,
I think it's absolutely fine. We, at the end of the day, yes, we are photographers, but I also feel that as a photographer, we are artists as well. And if they're
Lavina, too many people get caught up in, not even editing and all the other things. And, you go back to the film days and everybody edited. They just did it in the dark room with chemicals. So the whole idea that you can't manipulate a photo, it has to be raw. Well, that only came about with digital photography because every photo was manipulated as it was developed. So I get tired of the people that say that you can't edit, and it's just crazy. It's an art.
Yeah.
So that's what I wanted to ask.
Yeah,
I wanted to ask you how you felt about that. So because there's some hardcore people out there that say, okay, you manipulated something and you get totally discredited, and you're okay with, you're okay with composites, you're okay with, photoshopping and this and that, right?
Absolutely. I mean, I just take it as a form of expression of your art. And I mean, I don't do it enough. I would love to, because I've seen people producing excellent results. It's just a form of art. I would say that when, for example, when companies license your images, for example, when Nikon licensed my images, you have to send the EXIF data as well. So you have to send RAWs too. So they validate.
Oh, wow. So wait a minute.
I don't know like how deep they go, but at least, they ask me that, to make sure that my files have all the EXIF data and RAWs. So I send it.
Yeah, Nikon's not looking for composites. They're looking for representation from the camera, and that's their, yeah, I get that.
Yeah.
I didn't know that. That's something you learn every day, right? What's up, Photo Me Ike? Photo Me Ike is in the house.
They also published me as so they created a list of 20 inspiring artists of 2020. So I was part of those 20 artists, and the next year, that's 2021, They also published an article on how I use color in my images and my editing. And there was another article as well. Yeah, so I think there were total 3 articles that were published.
So how does that make you feel when you're like getting your start in photography and all of a sudden one of the biggest companies of a camera maker kind of like does that, you know? Does that give you a big jolt of energy? Like, wow, this is cool.
It absolutely does. And when I started, I did not start with an expectation to have a result like this. When I started, it was just a means to heal myself. And
Yeah.
I was just too focused. I was going on these insane trips, taking these shots myself, learning new techniques every day, focus stacking, exposure blending, using Milky Way tracker, the star tracker to get to reduce noise in my night images. So every day I'm addicted to YouTube tutorials. Like I teach myself something new every day, no matter what. So right before going to bed, I'm actually watching a YouTube tutorial and learning something. So I feel like all of this knowledge that I gathered and I was putting it out there in my work, finally it was getting recognized. However, I had no expectation. I did not go with that intention. It was not at all my intention. So one of the guys, I listen to him a lot, Tony Robbins, he says that it's in the moments of decision that your destiny is changed. And when I decided to pick camera, that's when my destiny changed. I understood myself inside out is what happened with it.
That's so cool that because me and Chuck were discussing this the other day about having like the new generation of like photographers that are like, you know, young, hip, you know, somebody that you're not used to be seeing as, with the camera doing landscapes.
Mm-hmm.
You know, you do not fit that profile. I mean,
yeah,
you usually see guys, and you know, it's hard to see like, and then it's great to see this. You know what I mean? It's awesome to see this, and it's a good thing. You know what I mean? It's a great thing because the other day I was watching a video on YouTube. A 9-year-old was playing bass and she was just killing it, and it was like, wow, this kid is just awesome. So yeah, I mean, that's what we got to do, you know what I mean? That's what we got to do. We have a question for you. Says from Agnetha, since you started taking pictures, how long before it became full-time for you? Well,
yeah, Agnetha, I do have a full-time job, which is not photography. I have made some money through photography. However, that's not main source of my bread and butter.
Yeah, and I think once it is, you're gonna kind of, is it gonna change you? Is it you're gonna stop kind of loving it, or?
I don't think so. I can ever stop loving being behind the camera. Being behind the camera is the most peaceful thing. I have thought, I'm not gonna lie, like I have thought about it, switching to it full time. There was a time I thought about it, but I love my job. I develop apps. I love it.
You develop apps?
I'm not a coder, but I'm a product manager. That's my full-time job. I have a passion for both of these. I have passion for technology. I have passion for photography. And I'm actually working on an app right now, which is related to photography. So that's how my love for both blended. I cannot name the app now. It's still in the development. It's going to launch in coming months. But that's where my love for two industries married. And I'm working on something really awesome at the moment.
That's cool. Oh, we have a special guest in the house coming up.
All right.
Hold on. He's connecting.
Yeah.
So
Photo Me Ike just said, keep your full-time job. Yeah. I just have to believe it is tough to make a living with photography out there now.
Yeah.
And he said, keep photography fun.
Yeah. Yeah, it's getting tougher, especially with all these social media platforms leaning towards videos more than pictures. I see things have changed a lot. Like I posted a really stupid video on Instagram. Like I was just holding a cup of coffee and Bixer, and I just did that. I'm holding a cup of coffee. As anybody wants coffee? It's a funny video, and it got 3.2 million views. It became viral, and I was like, this is not even art. It's funny, it's engaging, it's entertaining. But I started questioning that, is this getting more audience? Because I believe in art and not this. And I just posted it. Like it was a no-brainer for me. I was getting bored and I just posted it and it just went viral. So you just never know what happens. And that it's not my favorite style, like posting videos. I would just love to stick to posting pictures, but the world is changing. And I think if we don't keep up with this changing world, I feel like you're gonna lose out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You're so like, that's right. And one thing to mention about what you were saying about the coffee, you just never know what goes viral. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like it could be the stupidest thing.
Yeah.
And it just goes viral. So Photo Me Ike says she develops apps. We need more people like her.
Yeah.
That's cool. So yeah, I mean, that's great. Like, and you work, that's so cool that you do that, like developing apps and like that's so cool. I would love to know, because the other day I was at the Silicon Valley, and I was just looking at all this technology, not technology, but the leaders of that stuff. Well, welcome.
Hey.
Frames, Maniac Frames. This is Lavina
Hello.
Frames.
Hello. Hi. So my name is Menak. I just added my name so that you can pronounce my name. Okay, so thanks for having me. I've been watching the live show for the last 10 minutes. I couldn't resist joining because the pictures are so wonderful.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
Yeah.
Well, welcome, brother.
Welcome. Good morning.
By the way, it's morning for him. By the way,
where are you based out of in India?
Yeah, Calcutta.
Oh, nice. I am originally from Kanpur, UP.
Okay, I see. Okay.
Yeah, me and Frames were actually our first Vahagraphy Talk, remember?
Yeah.
Or first or second, yeah.
That was more than 6 months back, almost.
Yeah,
7 months back. Yeah.
I started this YouTube thing a year and a half ago, and he contacted me. He's like, "Hey man, I like your channel. We should do something, And he gave me this idea of like doing this, and it was cool.
Yeah, I think this initiative is really good. I mean, I love it. Yeah. I think you guys do a great job.
Chuck does 2 a week.
Wow. Awesome.
Yeah, we have a big photography get together and just chat around the table. Frames joined me the other day. Did you enjoy that, Frames?
Oh, I loved it.
It's a lot of fun, isn't it? Good crowd. Yeah.
So kind of a backstory real quick, Frames. I sold her my 2414G. That's how I met her.
Oh, I see.
Yeah, I was like, dude, I'm like, Lavina, I love it. You got to come on my live stream one day. So,
yeah, I was really loving the thing that you're doing, just going through each of these pictures and just learning the story behind each photos. And
yeah, Frames is dude, you're in India, man. You have one of the best landscape possibilities there. Cityscape.
Yeah. No, so you're right. Then I realized that she's also an app maker, and I'm working as a marketer, and I was going to say that, look, I don't have time to do all of that. Mostly I'm working. Then I realized, okay, she's also working. Then that doesn't work here. That excuse doesn't work here anymore.
No, it is a lot of time. Photography is a lot of time, but I love it so much that I give time to it. Yeah.
See?
Yeah, everybody has 24 hours. I think
I know.
all the priorities, whatever you prioritize in life.
I know. Yeah, that's true.
See, she works full time. She's an app developer, but she goes out and she shoots.
Yeah.
And I sleep less, which is not good.
Yeah, I know. Look, I woke up, right? I never wake up so early. I mean, because I go to bed so late, and
Yeah.
you're right. I think it comes down to discipline, and then I think all of us who has photography as a hobby, because one thing that you have to do is wake up in time to get the right
Oh, yes.
lighting, right?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. If you lose out a
And
shot, like, yeah, it's
like,
photography is so time bound.
yeah, because that shot of the picture of the road that you just showed,
Mhm.
that you're just talking about, the busiest road in where?
Yeah, it's a I-10 highway in LA.
Right. So and you and that moment happened for only a few seconds, right? So
1 second.
so
Not even
1 second.
just 1 second.
Yeah, that freeway is packed, bro. That's like the main artery from the valley to downtown.
Yeah.
So that's crazy. Frames is another avid Nikon shooter, but he shoots for Fuji and
Yeah.
Sony now.
Nice.
But
Yeah, Sony a little bit, but mostly Fuji. Yeah.
Nice.
but we're all Nikon people here. So
That's
No,
amazing.
no.
what?
Of course, Nikon is I think
The main.
the best. I mean, I have most lenses for Nikon. It's just a joy to shoot with Nikon because the files are so good. And after testing the Z9 the other day, Chuck, thanks for those files. Oh my god, the raw files from the Z9 is just amazing.
Yeah, I heard you made a video. I gotta check it out.
Yeah, I mean, it's amazing how good those files. So basically, if you go up to ISO 2500,
Mhm.
those files are cleaner than Z50 at ISO 100.
Oh, really?
And yeah, and Z50 apparently has a sensor from D500, right?
Mhm.
So it's the same 20 megapixel. I mean, you just realize how far we have come in the last 5 years. It's amazing. It's
Nice.
incredible.
Nice.
Before I forget, go ahead, Chuck. Go for it. Go for it.
I was just going to say, you surprised me with the outcome there. I really didn't expect that. And so I enjoyed the video, and I've shared that with some other people too, Frames.
Yeah. And since she's shooting so much in low light situations,
Mhm.
I think you should definitely go for the Z9. And I was thinking that you can so easily, if you have to shoot at ISO 200, there's no point shooting at ISO 200. You should just move up to ISO 640. And then since you have electronic shutter, you can so easily move up to a shutter speed of 1000.
Mhm.
And then you don't have to use an ND filter anymore because it's so fast.
Yeah.
So you're so well equipped with that camera. It's incredible.
Yeah, I know. I was almost getting it, but then I was like, okay, let's wait a little. But yeah, I'm gonna get it eventually. Maybe
Yeah, you
3 months down the line.
she has a Z6II like you, Frames.
Yeah.
D850. You still have your DX body, Lavina?
No, I have a Z50 as
Oh,
well.
oh yeah, that's right.
Mhm.
That's cool. So where's your next road trip? Where?
Oh, this is another thing. I don't plan in advance unless I'm going for a week or so. So I look up the weather on Friday morning and see where there are clear skies and just start driving.
So is this
Nice.
like every weekend you figure out a way to kind of go
No,
somewhere?
so when I shoot Astro, it is from March through September. That's when you can see Milky Way. And it's 2 weekends a month because that's the new moon time, because the other 2 weekends you're more closer to full moon.
Okay.
Yeah.
Nice.
So
Yeah.
yeah, I don't plan in advance. I have a vague idea that these are the places I want to cover this year. So
But if you take a vacation, or
Mhm.
let's say you're gonna be in Vegas for just like a trip with your friend's bachelorette party or whatever, you're in Vegas. Okay.
Mhm.
Do you say, okay, I'm gonna take advantage of this situation and just sneak away because there's a place I want to hit?
If I plan to stay more, if I plan to extend my vacation, yes. In that situation, I would go to Valley of Fire right after Vegas. But usually, yeah, I mean, I definitely, if there's a situation like that, I would extend my plan and use more days to take more shots. Yeah.
Yeah, I would love to go out and just shoot, I would love to just take a trip and just shoot. That's it. Like
Yeah.
30 days all across the United States,
Wow, that's going to be awesome.
Canada, you know.
Mhm.
But right now the gas prices are crazy.
Yeah.
So
I felt that when I went to Anza Borrego 2 weekends ago when I sent you that time lapse. I felt it, the gas price.
$6-7 a gallon, Frames.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know what it is over there, but
How much? So
$6 a gallon.
how many liters in a gallon? Sorry, you don't use gallon. Yeah.
Oh, damn, I don't know your thing,
Yeah,
bro.
I
It's-
do.
Yeah. About 5 or so, 5 or 6
You
almost.
pay far less than what we do in India.
1
You
gallon
don't-
is 3.7 liters.
Okay, I wasn't close.
We pay about $1.3 per liter.
Okay,
it's
so
much
that's what?
more.
That's like $5.
Yeah, it's more expensive than what you pay. That's all I have to say.
Really?
Yeah.
Mozman
Yeah.
says we need a Nikon sponsored Mercedes Sprinter van for the weekend shoots. Heck yeah. Me, Mozman, and Lavina next trip.
Yes.
We'll go.
Yeah.
What we do is we don't go trip. We just go somewhere local the day. Go
Yeah.
out morning, shoot, and then have dinner or lunch, and then head out. You know,
Yeah.
that'd be fun. You know, so we have a question here, Lavina. It's what is your favorite lens?
My favorite lens right now, you're gonna be surprised, is 51.2. So that's my favorite one right now. Do I use it the most? No. The most used ones is 24-70. 2.8 is my most used lens. My 51.2 I got very recently, and I'm just so amazed by the sharpness of it. So I've been shooting more portraits lately just to test it out more. Yeah.
I just recently picked up that lens. Beautiful portraits.
Also, this is my first 1.2. I've had 1.4s, I've had 1.8s, I've had 2.8s, but I never had a 1.2. So this is my first 1.2.
Yeah, what do you think?
Oh, it's amazing. The portraits have come out awesome. The show so sharp. Of course, I'm using eye autofocus and whatnot, but the images are really crispy and sharp. Way better than what I get on my D850 for a portrait on an 85 1.4. Way better.
Yeah, Frames. He did a video on that, attacking Jared Polin.
Well, come on now, it's been a while.
I know. That's a famous video, man.
No, yeah, no, so correct. But he said he'll never do another one on, he'll not do another review on the 51.2.
Oh,
But I think, so he really trashed the lens saying, oh, this is, I mean, he completely, it became a Z6II review and he didn't have good things to say about that. And a lot of us said that, look, it's a lens review and let's just keep it at that. And I don't have that lens, but from what I know, it's an amazing one.
Yeah.
So, in fact, Photomaker Ike was also there, right? And he said the same thing. And
Yeah.
he was. So
Photo
it
Me
just
Ike was there. Yeah.
snowballed into.
Yeah.
Then
He reviews hotel rooms now. I'm serious.
So then he came onto the show, and then I mean, it just someone, I think it's Vanessa Joy who sent him that video, and he said, "Okay, fine, I'll probably come and clear the air," and just happened like that.
She probably Lavina's probably like, who are these people, right?
I know Jared Polin.
Oh, okay. All right.
Yeah, of course, I know him.
Yeah, Chuck, do you know Jared Polin?
Yeah. I'm not a fan of his, but again, I'll say he does his thing. It's his shtick, and it works for him. So good on him.
Exactly.
I don't listen to any of his reviews. I'm sorry. I mean, I just don't find them Yeah, I'm a bit perturbed about the way he's treated Nikon, but I really don't find his reviews fantastic or whatever. Hey, other people do. Great, you know. Matter of
Yeah.
fact, I quit listening to most reviews anymore unless I know the person well enough to know, okay, I can trust what they're saying, to be honest.
So I have a question for Lavina,
Hmm?
but before I get to that, I promised Paul Connors I would ask this in the chat just so we can kind of help him out.
Mhm.
Paul Connors got an, I guess he got an offer to go to Ukraine
Mhm.
to shoot the war.
Mhm.
And he's asking me how much should I charge
Mhm.
and if he should actually do that. So what do you guys think?
Couple million.
All right, Paul. Well, he was just asking me how to go about pricing that kind of job. Were you serious, Paul? I don't know.
How many days is he going for? How many shots are they expecting out of him? Um, is
I
it,
don't know.
yeah. So
Yeah, that's what he said. How? Yeah, you heard that, Paul? How many shots? How many days?
is he spending hours shooting or like the entire day shooting? How many number of hours he's spending
Yeah,
each?
but the problem is it's a war zone. Is he gonna risk his life? That's the issue. That's what the immediately that came to my mind is
Yeah.
not the money.
Mm-hmm.
Like, are you gonna go out there and get, the worst case scenario, get killed?
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know if he wants to do that.
This is like journalism photography, more like a photojournalism, right?
Yeah, like because he's I guess wartime guy. Chuck, you probably have more to say about that than anyone else.
Yeah, over the last few years, I've been offered some opportunities to go and do some things, but I've had enough bullets fly overhead, and I don't need that anymore. However, I told the last, we'll just say person, the last person that they probably don't want to pay me what it would take to get me to go back for any amount of time, and I'm serious about that. It all sounds sexy and great and everything else, but when things go south, and they do, then you realize it ain't worth it. So
Yeah.
that's why I say
Jordan.
I'm honest. If he wants to know how much from me, I'll tell him. $1 million for 2 months max. There you go. And I would probably do that. But you don't know if you're coming home.
Yeah.
Would
And
you, Lavina? Would you risk any just to get the shot? Would you risk your life?
no.
Okay, good.
Mama told me no
Uh,
anyway. She said no more.
Well, okay. I would say no to going to a war zone. However, if it is about climbing a mountain, it has a risk of falling off a
Yeah.
cliff or something. I would take that risk. Yes.
Well, you're good at that stuff, hiking and stuff. You're good
Yeah.
at
So
balance.
I will do anything adventurous, but going to a war zone is something I wouldn't do.
Hmm.
But that being said, if that's what Paul wants to do, that's what Paul really wants to pursue. Yes, he has received an opportunity, but the question is, does he want to do this opportunity? Like, does he want to take on this opportunity, or does he want to pass on to this one? Is it like a yes or a no from his point right now to take it up or not? And if it's a yes, then we should figure out like how he should approach this situation.
And let me throw this out there from a photographer's point of view. Why do you want to go and do that? Is it just for, is it being selfish to get a shot that very few people are going to get? And that's all it can be, and we talked about this recently. We were talking to John Ishii about it. And asking him, why do they do it? And we even talked to Joe McNally about it a little bit. Why do you think they're over there? They're there to get a Pulitzer. That's it.
Mm-hmm.
Are they really do we need what they're shooting over? Do we need to see that? Yeah, we all want to see it or whatever, but do we need it? No, this is about being selfish for yourself, in my opinion. I know I'll get some feedback on that, but I'm saying this from a standpoint. I've been in the war zone for a long time, and it's not as fun as everybody thinks it is. And I don't want to sound horrific here, but you've been in an ambush a couple of times, and you realize because you're still alive, and you're doing it for the right reasons, not as a photographer, but as a soldier or somebody that's contracted to do that. That's different. But as a photographer, why are you going to document what? You can put lipstick on that pig, but it's still a pig. Okay. You can't doctor that up enough to make it sound needy or right or whatever. So I'm sorry, but that's just my feelings on it. I'm not opposed to war. Spent a lot of time in it, but I think that that's just a selfish ambition from people that want to go over there and try to be somebody in the photography world because they got these shots in this terrible situation. Just my opinion, folks.
I have a question, Chuck, and I think what you're saying is a very nuanced point of view. But someone has got to represent what's going on. Someone. Right. But I at the same time, I think the spirit can't be of just going in there and winning an award. That's very small.
From what I'm seeing from Paul's responses, he really wants to do it. Like he really wants to do it.
So is it emotionally important for him to do it? And is the reason right? I think what you're talking about, Chuck, is what is the motivation? Talking about that.
Yes.
Yeah,
and
but
like I said, the only thing that would motivate me is a suitcase full of money. I'll be honest. Okay. I'll be honest. A one-time deal for a suitcase full of money. And that's that. But you survive one time and you realize that is any of it worth it? Yeah. Now, if you don't have family and everything or anything like that, maybe you can make that decision.
Yeah. I think that's a very important thing to put in there. That
my wife just taught me that.
And Paul, are you by any chance in touch with other photographers who are out there? Or maybe get in touch with other people out there and see how they are approaching the situation and get some idea from them.
Photo Miyake is like, well, he's trained for that. Well, you're not trained for a missile coming at you in like 3/3. What? You blink and then you're dead.
Yeah.
You can never be trained for that crap, right, Chuck?
No, you can't be. It's not the bomb that you hear that kills you. It's not the bullet that you hear. And oh, by the way, you hear bullets.
Yeah.
They break a sound barrier as they go past. You can't miss them. But it's the bullet you don't hear that kills you. And I've lost 9 very close friends over the last 20 years. And all of them died. They were invincible, but yet they died because you never know. So anyway, that's just my opinion, folks. And, but if somebody's going to go, so be it. I wouldn't try to stop them. But if you ask me my opinion, I'm going to give it to you.
Paul says, I don't have a family. I'm single, no kids. But I think that's not the point. The point is there's someone out there for who you're important. And what is their opinion? Do they want you to go?
Yeah. You hear that, Paul? $1 million. Briefcase full of cash. If not.
I've earned a lot of money over the years doing that. And again, I got to a point and Mama was right. Mama said, how many times do you take the chance? When do you decide enough is enough? And I have.
So the friends that you're talking about, Chuck, are they photographers or soldiers?
No, soldiers. No photographer friends or photography inspired anything with it. I was contracting with some folks after I retired I retired out of it and then went right back contracting in it. Not to get too in depth here, but yeah, and there was a lot of money to be made, and I was selfish, and my wife, my beautiful bride, called me on it, and after many incidents, and said, "How many more? When's the one that you don't come home?" And I
Yeah.
agree with her.
Well, I have a question for Paul. How old are you? That's important too. Lavina, question. As a landscape shooter, what is your what is your goals? Like, are you more of like, yeah, I know you're doing this for yourself right now, but do you daydream of that day where you can sell a portrait for like $40,000 or an auction house landscape shot? You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah, I would love to. But my goal, if you ask me what really my goal is, and I don't know if I'll ever be able to achieve it. Do you know the photographer named Mark Adamus?
no.
M-A-R-C and then Adamus. So that's the level of work I want to achieve in landscape photography. So his Instagram is also Mark Adamus, M-A-R-C-A-D-A-M-U-S. Of course, I would love to sell my prints, but if you look at my prints, Yosemite or let's say Utah, yes, these places are amazing. I go by myself, that's amazing. But the places where Mark Adamus go to, those are unexplored territories. It's not Yosemite. It's not all of these national parks in the United States. It's something really unique and different. He would go to Pakistan, like the mountain ranges in Pakistan, and he would go to places where only helicopters can go, and he would be out there in extreme conditions. So that's the level of adventure I want to associate with my photography. But at the same time, I know what he does is really, really difficult, and his images are exceptional. And he's a Nikon guy too.
Mark Jacobs?
And
Mark Adamus. Yeah, I'm just looking it up.
Sorry, Jacobs is the clothing guy.
Yeah, Mark Adamus, M-A-R-C-A-D-A-M-U-S. And it's so funny. I was shooting in Mammoth, and I was shooting the, what's it called? The creek, the Mammoth Creek, the hot spring, the Mammoth Creek. And I think I reached there at 6 a.m. or something during sunrise to shoot. And there was this guy who was doing a one-on-one workshop with this other guy. And he started chatting with me, and I was there for the first time. So I was still exploring which lens should I shoot with. I was still understanding the composition, moving around here, there. And he was like, you should use 50. I said, okay, I'll listen to you. I'll use 50. And then he and I started making conversation. And then at the end, I asked him, so are you on Instagram or something? Can I look up your work? He said, yeah, I'm on Instagram. So I gave him my phone. He typed it. I did not look at that. And he gave me some suggestions around the area, and I did not know that the area so well. So I went and explored. And then I looked up my phone, and I was like, oh shit, he was Mark Adamus. Why didn't I look at my phone in that moment?
No,
I was standing right
way.
next to Mark Adamus. I was talking to him, and I did not know he was Mark Adamus. And I felt so foolish. But I had his Instagram. I messaged him. Of course, he must be receiving thousands of messages or hundreds of messages. I don't know. He never responded, but I was just thinking to myself that I met the guy who was my role model, and he was right there next to me.
That's cool.
Yeah.
I gotta check him out.
Yeah.
That's a wonderful story. Yeah, I'm just looking at his pictures. It's
he's like more than helmet.
how did you? Yeah, go on. Sorry.
No, go for it.
I was going to ask, how did you get drawn into photography, and especially landscape? How did you kind of have the clarity to focus on this one thing?
The piece, and the more I travel, the more I explore, the more the chase of getting that shot is what drives me. I enjoy that. I find it very peaceful. I find it meditative to pursue that moment, to find that moment, that perfect shot moment. So that's what keeps me motivated.
So this is what I'm going to ask you next is a question for, of course, for you, but also for my wife.
Mm-hmm.
And she says that when she is traveling somewhere, and if she's also to shoot, it sort of takes away from that experience of that place. Is that true for you? How would you respond to that?
It's the opposite for me. I enjoy the entire experience so much. Uh, I indulge in that journey to find that shot. So for me, it's the journey. Of course, the result is amazing. The goal is to get a beautiful shot that when you see the photos, your jaw should drop. I go there, I take probably 1,000 pictures. I don't edit 1,000. I edit probably 2 or 3, the ones that are the best. But for me, it's the entire journey from like planning, scoping, driving there, scoping out there, hiking, mountain, being there till sunset. So all it's everything is very joyous to me on this entire journey.
So you remember that scene from The Secret Life of Walter Mitty, where I think it was Sean Penn. So Sean Penn was about to shoot, I think a bear, and then he just didn't shoot. He said the most beautiful things, and you don't shoot the most beautiful things. You just experience them. And
I would shoot it. Shooting is my experience.
Yeah.
I would
Right.
shoot it.
No, I think that answers the question.
Yeah, my experience is shooting. Capturing that moment gives me more joy. I mean, I am in the moment. I never have felt, if I'm taking a shot of a beautiful sunset, I haven't felt disconnected from the sunset. I feel I am there. I'm enjoying the sunset and I'm capturing it.
Like you're saying just the act of composing, getting the gear out and just setting it up and then shooting, clicking, it doesn't come in the way of you experiencing that moment and that scene, right?
No,
right. So I guess it's an individual thing for each people, but I kind of wanted to ask curious about it.
Yeah.
By the way, Frames also loves, he's a storyteller, and he wants to get into like more of like landscape and storytelling, right, Frames?
Yeah, no, more street.
Sorry.
Yeah. And you know what I find difficult is maybe it's time management, but I was going to ask you, how much time do you spend on shooting? Let's say you go on this weekend and shoot, right? And you've got a few pictures. How much time do you give it to prepare those pictures and then select the right one? Because I think about the last 6-7 months work that I haven't posted anywhere, or I have edited, but then I haven't chosen the best ones out of them. So I think that also requires a bit of discipline to kind of be consistent on Instagram and on other platforms. So how do you manage that bit?
So I spend 2 days shooting. That's my weekends. And Monday through Friday after work is when I edit. I was telling that I love watching YouTube tutorials and all and learning new tricks in editing. And so Monday through Friday is like my downtime in front of system, and Friday evening through Sunday is more I'm outdoors person. Yeah.
Paul Fell says, I love Lavina's energy, by the way. Very good storyteller.
Thank you.
Lavina, I think you need to start shooting and then telling a story, like a slideshow. That's pretty cool. Do you enjoy landscape more or portraits? Well, stupid question, but because you do portraits, but
yeah, I enjoy landscape more, but portraits are more challenging to me. I'm an extremely introvert person. I like being by myself.
Introverted.
So that element of human interaction, making the model pose in a certain way, that's challenging to me personally, but I do it. I don't show it out there. That is challenging to me. Of course, I played well. But I know myself, like I am extremely introverted person. And so I enjoy landscape more, but portraits challenge the editing part of me.
That's interesting.
Because as I said, like, if I don't edit a landscape properly, it will not sell. It will not get licensed. The sun and the stars and the moon are not going to yell at me. But if I mess up editing a portrait, I won't like that, because at the end of the day, I'm giving that image to a person and I want that person to like that image. So the critics of an editing, how I should edit, all that I got from portrait learning.
So you get licensed is it good money? I mean, like, can you make someone make a living off somebody licensing your shot?
If somebody's licensing a lot, yes, but I did enough that my gear got paid back.
Okay,
Yeah.
all right. Because my dream
Hmm.
is to take one shot and just totally hit the jackpot. You know what I mean? Hey, you hear that? You know?
So you never know. So I'm gonna tell you a story. I went to Antelope Canyon once. It was not too long ago, probably a year back. So you cannot do the Antelope Canyon tours without a tour guide. So you have to hire a Navajo Indian person and then go on a tour with him. So my guide, he took out an image and he showed me that one day a tour guide was on the tour, and just like any other regular day, and there was a mountain lion in the canyon, and he immediately took out his phone and he got $1 million shot right there, and the mountain lion then disappeared. And the shot is out there. If you Google Antelope Canyon mountain lion, that shot is there. Just Googling it.
Wow.
So that moment, what was he doing? He was just doing his job wholeheartedly, going there, taking the tourists every day. He just got lucky in that moment that he got that $1 million shot.
No, what I'm saying is the $1 million, a real $1 million. Like me, like you see, have you seen that picture of the 99-cent store?
99
It's a picture of a 99-cent candy shop. It's sold for like $3-4 million. I'm serious. Like, it's stupid. Like a dumb. Like, I don't want to call it dumb because it's someone's art, but it easy to shoot, or that $4 million picture of that grass. You seen that one? If you Google the most expensive picture, it's this grass with some water, or I'm not saying 1 million, but
it's a sidewalk.
yeah, it's a sidewalk.
With a strip of grass in it.
Yeah. So I mean, you see that?
Oh yeah. Yeah.
Like, you never know.
Vagan, you can't plan for such things.
I know, but I mean, how do you? My question is, since Lavina's, gets her stuff kind of licensed, how do I market the picture? How do I get it shown? How do I get into those worlds?
I wish I had better answer for you.
Okay.
but at least the level of licensing I did, it was literally just Instagram, and I feel like being at the right place at the right time. But I mean, you raise a good question that what is the strategy that these people have to get their images licensed for so much of money? It is said, and again, I'm going to quote Tony Robbins because I listen to him a lot lately. Success leaves clues. We don't have to reinvent the wheel, but there's something out there that will already tell you how to lead to that path. And I don't know what that path is, what these people actually did. I never went and studied, but I mean, because you have raised this question now, I'm intrigued, and I would actually look up these people to see what their strategy was.
I'm telling you, like, these things are life-changing things. You sell one, it's like, okay, dude, all of a sudden you can have your dream studio and not have to worry about working ever again. Yeah. But I mean, like, that happens at like a lottery ticket, obviously, but there's like pictures you could sell for less money, like 10,000, 20,000. People do it all the time. I want to figure out in what circles do they hang out in to get their images shown. And by the way, when you say licensing image, what about prints? Like, if you have because I know some photographers that say, okay, there's 10 prints I'm going to sell, and that's it. I'm not making any more reproductions of this image. It's 10 pictures. 1 of 10, 2 of 10, 3 of 10, right? Is that something that will intrigue you in the future too? Like making 10 prints? And
absolutely. And it'll intrigue me. Like, if I reach the level where Mark Adamus is, where those images are not reproducible unless you venture out into the extreme conditions and get those shots. For example, Firefall. Yes, I had an amazing shot and I sold prints. but thousands of photographers have firefall shot, right? What is the unique thing? Yeah, I went out at a perfect time. I got clouds and all. Not a lot of people have that. But then what he is doing is really other photographers don't have what he has. You can't even reproduce. You don't even know where he goes. Like his locations are so good and unknown and unrevealed. And if you reach that level, you will have this on your plate.
I have to check them out.
Yes, yeah, absolutely.
Mm,
You
yeah.
know, he hosts these workshops, these tour workshops, and he gets sold out like 3 years in advance.
Mark Adams.
Mark Adamus.
Hey Chuck, you heard of Mark Adams?
Mark Adamus.
No, but I'll check him out.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's interesting. We talk about this is one side of photography that we don't really like talk about like that much, and how to do something we love and get paid for it.
Yeah.
Because all we talk about is like gear and lenses and like, okay, but what about making a living? You know what I mean?
Exactly. Yeah.
It'll be nice to make a living doing this.
You're in a good industry. Wedding photography is an excellent industry.
Yeah, it is, but it's, you know how it is.
Yeah.
It's too.
How is it?
It's not my number one, but it does pay good. Too long hours, but you know, it's not my number one thing to shoot, and you know, I don't know. I've been doing it too
You mean
long.
it's not as satisfying as what you mean, or
not what?
is it too much trouble dealing with people?
That too.
Satisfying as you want it to be, or is it too
but
much trouble dealing with people?
that, yes, and also the amount of recognition you get for wedding photography. It's not like a whatever you like a Mark Adams or Ansel Adams, or you know what I mean? Like you bust your butt to take a portrait, but you're labeled as a wedding photographer. I mean, don't get me wrong, wedding photography, there's guys that are respected in this industry. Jerry Gilnes and you name it. But I mean, you can make a living doing wedding photography, but you can't, you know what I'm trying to say, right? You can't get that artist recognition, kind of. So I would love to do it. I mean, I just started doing wildlife nature stuff, which I want to start doing. Yeah, see, Mozman even said that 600 FL will set you free. So yeah. Would you ever do wildlife, Lavina, like birding?
No.
Okay.
It's not my thing.
It's a totally different thing. Patience, right? You need patience.
Yeah.
I've tried it.
So I have a question. I'm sorry, I'm going back to gear talk a little bit, just for a while. So what kind of lenses is it for you? I mean, how do you get the best shots? What lenses?
So my most used lens right now is 24-70 2.8. Other lenses I have are 14-24, 70-200, all 2.8, and then a 51.2, and then I have almost same stuff for my D850 as well. So I'm mirrorless, and I have both the systems. My best shots I feel are 24-70.
You have the Z version, right?
Yeah, the Z version.
Nice.
So so why wouldn't you carry the primes instead of is it because you have to manage less number of lenses?
So it depends. So when I shoot, I think, am I getting a print out of it or not? Am I gonna sell a print eventually out of this or not? And if yes, I use my D850. And that's how I got the lens from him, because I was using my 14-24 a lot and my lens just wouldn't work. Something happened to it. So that's how I met him online and I bought the lens from him. And now last weekend, finally I got a lens and I tried it. So it depends whether I'm gonna, so for example, portraits, I never use my D850 for portraits. It's Z6II all the time. But when it comes to landscape, and if I'm at a spot which I know will sell, I use D850. Otherwise, I stick to my Z6II, I do time lapses, I play around. So yes, it's the ease of carrying the gear with me. I mean, I hike mountains and all, and that 50-pound bag is too much. I am a petite girl. I'm 5'2". Yeah, I'm 5'2". I'm thin. So yes, it's just a lot of stuff for me as well, for my body too.
So, but why aren't you moving to Z7II? Because I mean, you have the lenses, and it's high, and for
Is the
it's
14
fast enough for.
Yeah, it's the 14 frame per second video in Z6II that I was kind of inclined towards, because I ultimately wanted to do some videos as well. I just felt that Z6II is better for videos. Also, I knew that Z9 was going to come, so I would rather get Z9 than Z7II.
Right.
And if I get rid of my D850, it would be Z6II and Z9. So,
but then you will be carrying that, 1400 grams, 1.4 kilos, right? That's heavy.
Yeah.
That's what I did. I stopped myself from buying the Z7 II, and I waited for the Z9.
Yeah. That's a wise decision. Yeah.
But like you, I didn't get rid of my DSLR.
I still have it. I mean,
I know. I'm saying like you, I didn't do it.
Okay.
I still have my DSLRs.
Yeah.
So we're kind of we have the same thing,
Yeah.
the way we think when it comes to gear. Because I guess you love the D850 so much that you.
Yeah.
I understand. But eventually, I bet you anything, if you pony up and get the Z9, you'll probably get rid of the D850.
Yeah, I think so too.
Because look, I did that myself. I got rid of a bunch of lenses, and I met you through the process. And I bought a few new toys. I sold a lot of my G glass.
Yeah.
You're gonna do the same. You're gonna buy the Z9. You're gonna sell your D850. You're gonna sell all the G. You're gonna probably sell all the G glass that you own.
Yeah.
So for the aspiring landscape photographers out there, would you suggest the 70 to 200 2.8 or the 100 to 400?
70 to 200 or
100 to 400.
100 to 400.
Okay. Although it's 4.5 to 5.6.
I would still suggest 100 to 400.
And why so?
Because I have never really used I have not gone to the level of 2.8 when I'm using telephoto. I mean, I have it because I'm doing moonrise. I'm shooting moonrise, right? Even if I'm shooting, if I'm shooting landscape far off, like speed and all, when all that matters, maybe yes, but I don't shoot landscape. The kind of scenery I shoot, I've never used 2.8 on my 70-200.
Right.
Yeah. So for moonrises, for cityscapes, for shooting, when you're at a distance, you want to capture city or you want to capture a mountain or something, you don't need 2.8 at that point in time.
Did you see that Insta360 videos of hers?
Yeah, I saw.
With her walking on the sand
and
the narrow gap.
Yeah, and I think it's a video where you fell also, right? You walking.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
That's one. Yeah.
That's crazy, man. Like that's just part of it too, that whole experience. And a friend of ours, Bayou Josh, I don't know if you've ever heard of him, but he's seeing a lot of success on YouTube right now. So all he does is go out, shoot the wildlife and drone, come home, upload the shots to YouTube, and tell a story over the shots. And now he's growing like wildfire.
Wow.
So you have a good way of telling that story, and it would be international too. It wouldn't just be like English or Americans. It could be international, So,
all right, Lavina, I am a fan of Mark Adamus, and that's after 5 minutes.
Yeah,
that's
me
awesome.
too. Me too. So thanks for just asking us to check his work. It's amazing.
So you met the dude. He was right next to you.
Yeah, and I didn't know.
Hmm. That's
And
awesome.
I wish I would have looked my phone when he shared it, but I did not.
Mark Adamus. Yeah, I wonder if he sells stuff.
Yes.
He does.
Yeah. What is that?
That's his work. That's
That's
his
Mark
work.
Adamus.
His
Ah.
work is
These
insane.
photos are incredible.
The locations he go to, I don't know how he finds them. I would love to know his process.
What is he, a Nikon shooter?
Yeah, he is.
I don't know.
He's-
Whatever he's shooting, it's
is.
good.
He is nice.
He's not an ambassador, right?
No, he's not. I don't think so.
Okay.
He has time for that.
I
Yeah.
love his editing because I love color. Now, a lot of people probably won't like that.
Oh,
They
I
want
love-
natural.
Yeah.
I love this. This is beautiful.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Man, you're getting me inspired to go out and shoot this stuff.
Let's go.
Let's go. Yeah, we're neighbors. So I was telling Frames, I go, dude, you got to get your butt to America.
You should come to India. Ask her about it. It's like 10 countries put together.
I know.
So-
I know.
I would love to go to India. I'll tell you right now.
Yeah,
me too.
luck.
Lavina, do you follow any of the British landscape photographers? There are quite a few.
Not really.
Paul Johnson, Gary Go,
Hmm.
Thomas Heaton.
Nope.
They're pretty inspiring too. But I got to tell you, this is on another level
Yeah.
for me anyway.
Yeah.
I like the saturation. I love the colors and his compositions, and I don't care if it's not real. It's beautiful. And
It is.
That's-
His images are real. Absolutely.
well, I'm just saying
Mhm.
it's beautiful.
Yeah,
It's very appealing to the eye.
exactly. Yeah.
Fel, no, it's not Sam Adamus. It's Paul Adamus.
No, it's Mark
No,
at
it's
Oh,
Mark.
oh.
It's
MARC.
I
C.
put the link in the link is in
Sorry,
the
guys.
chat.
Where did I get Paul Adamus? He's probably a music guy. So what's next for you, Lavina? Like, what are you? What's next for your photography journey?
Well, the next thing is this year I'm targeting to, bring back my website up and start selling prints again on the website. I stopped doing all that. I was a little overwhelmed, but then I think it's time for me to get back out there. I do want to develop a tutorial course in parallel where I'm teaching how to scope, sitting at home, how to use these apps, and then actually going out and scoping, and then ultimately teaching how to go out, take the shot, come back home and edit this entire package. So I want to start shooting that little tutorial on my own in parallel and launch it probably sometime next year or so.
Nice.
Yeah, and then
So you develop apps.
yeah, that's something I'm not going to leave. That's going on in parallel. I do want to mention that I am part of the team called Portrait.Shooters. It's a LA-based, not LA, actually US-based group of people. And we are 5 or 6 members in Portrait Shooters team that we host meetups. So we invite probably 6-7 models, and we invite 20-30 photographers, and we charge really very minimal, like $5 or so, just to make sure that they are serious about coming. And we all meet up, and we host this once in 3 months or once in 2 months. So we all meet up, and then that's an opportunity for people to work with really good models out there and build their portfolios. They can bring their lighting equipment, etc. The meetup lasts for 2 to 3 hours.
What is it called?
It's called, the Instagram is portrait.shooters.
Portrait.shooters. Okay.
Yes.
And it's LA based right now?
Yeah, so we host, most of the meetups are here or Minnesota. So there are a couple members in Minnesota, and there are some members over here. And yeah, we host meetups in Minnesota and LA, like we alternate. So yeah, and I joined that group a couple years ago, right when pandemic started, and I love being part of that. And I like the community aspect of photography a lot as well. And that's like fulfilling my community aspect inside me, hosting these meetups with 3-4 other photographers. Yeah.
And one question I have for you is, you told me you mentioned you're an introvert.
Mhm.
When you're with a photographer that you just met, like, it's easier to communicate and hang out with like-minded
Oh yeah.
photographer versus somebody that's not a photographer and it's just okay. That's
Yeah,
cool.
I mean, when I met you, we were talking and we were like, okay, we can talk all night, looks like.
Yeah, that was awesome. Yeah, that was great. And then I really liked your energy. And I was like, you know what? You have to come on the show. And you don't meet people like yourself every day. So thought it was really good.
Thank you.
Yeah. So same thing with Chuck and Frames. The first time I talked to Frames or Chuck, it was like we connected. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it was so cool. YouTube in your plans in the future? No?
Yes, absolutely.
Oh,
I started posting YouTube shorts just because you could use the Insta Reels that you post. So I started posting YouTube shorts, but that has been on my list for a while now, posting more YouTube videos.
well, you should. You should get in front of the camera and talk. And
Yeah.
then if you want to do live streams like us, let me know. We'll be guests, right?
Absolutely.
Like I really like to learn tutorials. See tutorials on how you get the shot and how you sort of envision it before, how you plan a trip. Okay, all of those, how you get the right lighting, then how you choose your gear, then how you edit it, the entire journey of it. I mean,
Yeah. Yeah.
I think landscape photography is somehow not perceived to be as glamorous as many other forms of photography. Let's say wildlife or even portrait shooting. But when you compare the end result, you can just stop. You can't stop browsing through a bunch of beautiful landscape pictures.
Yeah.
You can potentially get bored of wildlife or portraits even, but you just swipe through all those beautiful landscape pictures. And when you talk about landscape photographers, most of us like, "Yeah, what do they do?" I mean, you just have to find a place and time. You're so static about. I mean, the whole
Yeah.
it looks that it appears to be static, the whole experience, but I guess after talking to you, I realized that you're always on the move, right? You're always constantly finding that one point,
Yeah.
and you have to research so much about it. So I think there's a lot to learn. And if you come on YouTube ever, I mean, I would please do a lot of tutorials for people like us so that we can.
Yeah, absolutely. That's the part of the plan. And yeah, I hope I act on this plan as well. Sometimes we have plans and we don't act on it, so.
Yeah.
Hey, Lavina, Agnetha says that you have great photos and it's nice to see you here on the show. I think everybody is in agreement. It's your energy and your eye for photography that make you a very interesting person.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
Yeah. And you're welcome back. Like I said, Chuck has 2 of these a week. And, you're welcome back anytime. You're great.
Absolutely.
And you're
And-
welcome on my show anytime, Lavina. I think you just, everybody enjoys what you bring to the show.
Thank you so much.
Bell says, Mark Adamus.
Mark Adamus should be next on the show, right?
Adamus.
Yeah, why not? And Vagan, because you always manage to get them on the show, and if you get to manage to get him, Mark, on the show, please call Lavina as well, because he should meet her.
Yes.
Lavina? Okay.
Yeah, I would say I'm the girl who met you at the
Yeah.
That's a deal. If I get him, okay, I'll invite you too.
Absolutely.
All right. Yeah, sounds good. So it's been fun, man. This is a record, I think 2 hours and 10 minutes.
Not even close for me.
I want to thank everybody in the chat too. You guys are great. We have this consistent following, Lavina.
Yes.
So like if you go over to Chuck's stream, they're great people. I know some of them personally, and it's always a pleasure with these guys. And now these beautiful human beings got introduced to you now. So so if anybody wants to find your work, where do they find you right now? It's the Instagram.
Yes, it's Instagram. My handle is my first name dot my last name, Lavina.Lalchandani.
Yeah, so it's written on the Zoom on the YouTube.
Perfect.
So that's how they spell it on Instagram.
Yes.
Okay, they follow you right there. You have about 20K followers. How many followers you got?
11.8.
That's pretty good.
Yeah, it's decent.
That's really good for Instagram. I mean, you're
Yeah,
climbing.
it's weird. Like, I suddenly got this bunch of followers after that video got viral. Some of the images I get like 700-800 likes. The other images I get 100 likes. So I don't understand how Instagram works really. What's the deal with it? But you don't have to judge. I feel like you shouldn't judge your art based on the likes and the followers and all this. Like, those days are gone. I mean, I understand Instagram and social presence is important, but photography and art is way beyond it. And anyways, I feel like Instagram is so inclined towards short video forms at the moment. Yeah.
Thank you, Todd. Thank you, Todd. I appreciate it. Yeah, she made this coffee video with her holding her coffee in the forest and got like how many views?
3.2 million.
3.2 million views.
Yeah.
So one thing like that, and it's like, it's great, you know. So yeah, I really appreciate this time. I want to thank Chuck. Hey, Chuck.
Yeah, man. Thank you.
I just want to thank all three of you, and it was really nice being here, and I enjoyed this conversation so much.
Yeah, like I told you, it's just like pretend we're just friends having dinner while talking photography. That's it.
Yeah.
There's no like
breakfast.
Yeah.
And breakfast.
Oh yeah. Yeah, man. I definitely.
And Paul's
man.
having good and plenty over there. So
yeah, like I said, frames.
Yeah.
We had some good memories back in the day with you and me starting this.
Yeah, I mean, I never knew that you're going to take it so seriously.
What do you mean, dude? I love this.
I didn't realize that, this could become such a consistent thing. And it's all kudos to you because you thought you could really turn it into almost like a property and make it so consistent and find people like Lavina. Because, otherwise a lot of us wouldn't have known, right? And it just left to chance, right?
Yeah.
So
that's what I'm saying.
And that's the big thing too. That's one of the things that I enjoy. Anybody that wants to come on the show, it's your opportunity. And I encourage everybody, sell yourself on the show if you like. That's fine.
Yeah.
But,
Yeah.
if you're up and coming, I think it's great.
Yeah, it's like with this, because I'm growing my channel, right, Lavina, right now. It's still growing, but with this, we get a constant flow of viewers live, but then you get a lot of viewers after the fact.
Yeah.
Like if you look at the view count later on, it grows. So and it's great. I mean, I love these live streams. Chuck really got me into it. And he tells me how you got me into it. I was like, wait a minute, who got who? But it doesn't matter.
Well, you inspired me because I'd been on the fence for so long. I did make do a few live streams a couple of years ago, but anyway, you inspired me, brother.
Well, it was like I said, Frames hooked me up and he's like, let's do this. I'm like, do what? I'm like, let's just get on there. I'm like, okay.
Yeah.
He
was showing me a lot of attitude initially. He didn't respond to my messages
for
like
man.
a month. Yeah. He's like, who is this guy?
Never. I'll never. Like with me, it's like I don't care who I'm talking to. I don't care if it's Jared Polin or well, whoever. But I treat everybody the same way.
Hey, by the way, Lavina, I love your portraits as well. They're really beautiful. I mean, I guess you're just overall, you're just a great photographer because everything you do seems to be really good.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
Yeah.
My only question is, why don't you shoot more in India? Because Kanpur, UP, the north of India is so photogenic. This just filled with textures and it's dramatic.
Colors.
So
I
Yeah.
don't come back enough now. Like I don't visit often anymore. Yeah, that's why.
oh right, yes, yeah.
And she
Yeah.
got into photography in 2016, 17. So
Yeah.
she was already here.
Right, right.
So,
I came here in 2011 and I don't
Mm.
come back that often now. I mean, I lost my parents, so I don't have any reason to come back anymore. So that's why I don't visit India anymore now.
Right.
and that in losing her mother inspired her to go out and shoot.
Yeah.
Well,
that's
touching
my-
I'm
story.
sorry I missed that part of the chat. I just joined late. I'm sorry. Yeah. Okay, great. I see.
Yeah.
So Lavina, you have inspired me now. Now I have to go out and shoot a landscape. Okay. So
Yes.
I'm gonna give that a shot here within the next week or two. So
That's
I'm challenging Vahagan to do the same. And on one of the shows, we're gonna show our landscape and let everybody critique us on how well we did. And you're welcome to join if it's on my show and critique us.
That's a good plan because I'm not a landscape shooter.
I'm not either.
You're not
I
either.
figured
So,
now's the time.
okay. That sounds good. You know, that's a good show. By the way, his show is AP Studios.
Okay.
So if you follow him too, Chuck, and Frames channel is FramesTM on YouTube.
Yeah.
So
If you don't mind, I'm gonna throw a shameless plug in here real quick. Vahagan, my shows are on Wednesday and Saturday nights, but tomorrow, Wednesday, I have a show. It starts at noon Eastern. So it's an early show. And a lot of people will tune in and they don't watch it necessarily. They listen to it while they're doing other things. So you're welcome to, and anytime you want to join, just let me know, Lavina.
Sure. Absolutely.
All right.
you know, with Chuck, it's like he sends out the link.
Mhm.
He goes, even if you stay 10 minutes, you
Yeah.
want to come say hi and leave. Yeah, it's cool.
Okay.
Yeah.
Good to know.
Yeah,
I
so
send links out for every show. Sometimes people actually show up. So, I've got somebody that I've sent a link to for weeks. Now, I'm not talking about you, Frames.
Yeah, I know.
No, you showed up. Okay. I'm
Yeah.
talking about some others. So, the link is, I send it out. And honestly, I don't care. I like people to drop in. It just makes the conversation that much better. But one thing that I know you touched on it, Vahagan, and that is all the wonderful subscribers out there that show up week in, week out. And I appreciate that. I definitely appreciate that because, like they say, without them, the show is nothing. So I'm glad that people enjoy it.
And I didn't realize that live shows can be so interesting, so fulfilling, because I think it also depends on the sort of the whether there is a rhythm in the conversation, because it depends on, I guess, how you speak. And Chuck, the way you sort of host and present the show is very, very interesting. And you could actually listen to it without the video. You just listen to it. It's got that broadcast quality.
Well, I appreciate that. And again, the people are what make the show. I pick a topic and we very rarely stay on that very long because, Lavina, the show is for everybody else. That's the way I see it. It's just, let everybody else in. We respond, or I respond to all of their comments and questions and everything else. And from time to time, I have a guest like Frames, and, I encourage you, the guest, hey, watch the chat, respond to what's going on in the chat. It's just a conversation, no formality. And often I say, come as you are. Don't worry about,
and people like that.
Up.
Chuck got me into this no formal stuff because I was like really formal in the beginning. Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, blah, blah. It's like, this is better, it's raw, it's flowing naturally.
Yeah.
So I'll send you the link to both these guys' YouTube channels. But I want to thank you, Lavina. You were great. This was like really kickback. In LA, they say this was kickback.
Thank
I don't know
you.
if you heard that term, right, Lavina?
Yes, I have.
Yeah, kickback. This was really kickback. Chuck, Frames, you guys are awesome too. You guys are always welcome. By the way, you can catch this audio format only tomorrow on my podcast on Apple Podcast.
Okay.
So anybody that wants to listen to it in the car, it's called Vahagraphy Rock and Roll.
You still haven't shown me how to do that.
It's easy. I'll show you that.
That's a great thing about live is it's unscripted. So
Yeah, so my show is every Tuesday. Next week, guys, tune into The Ordinary Filmmaker. We'll be in the house.
Okay.
Oh,
So, yeah,
interesting.
Ordinary Filmmaker, and that's at 6:00 Pacific time. So, all right, well, thank you. Ordinary Filmmaker, his name is Simon. So
Simon, yes,
Simon, yeah.
he's a Canon shooter,
I-
but he treats everybody right. All brands,
Yeah.
he treats them with respect. So that's nice.
Yeah. He's a YouTube guy on he talks about YouTube news and camera news and stuff. It's cool. All right. Well, thanks everybody. Thanks, guys. Lavina, rock and roll. All right.
She was almost pressured to doing that sign. Yeah.
We gotta go out and rock. I'll take you to a concert. We'll shoot it.
The rock and roll photographer.
Yeah. Me and you will go out. We'll go to like Hollywood, one of these
Yes.
clubs, get a few drinks, and take our cameras and shoot the bands.
Let's do that.
Concert photography. Yeah. You like rock?
Yeah.
That's cool. All right.
That's cool.
All right. All right. Well, this was a pleasure, guys.
Yeah. Thank you.
Absolutely.
Thank you, guys.
Absolutely.
Frames, Chuck, and Lavina.
Thanks.
I'll talk to you guys.
Bye.
Thank you, guys. Thanks everyone in the chat. By the way,
Bye. Good
you
night.
guys were awesome too.
Thanks to the audience. Absolutely.
Yeah. Rock and roll.
Rock and roll.
Mhm.